بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين جل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها عدد ما أحاط به علمك. We offer our condolences to Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif and all the lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam for the demise of Lady Fatima Salamullah alayha. We talked about fasting when traveling, and the question was whether it's possible to do, for example, mustahab fasting when you are traveling or not. As-sawmul mandubu fi safar. After we talked about that, then we had this on page 404. وَهَلْ يُسْتَثْنَى مِنْ ذَلِكَ نَذْرُ الصَّوْمِ فِي السَّفَرِ. We said Adamul Jawaz is better. Can fasting during a trip, of course trip which is matching the requirements of trip, to be making salat qas and to make fasting not possible, does this exclude when there is nadr, if someone has made nadr to fast? هل يستثنى من ذلك من عدم الجواز نذر الصوم في السفر. We said محقق هلی رحمة الله علیه صاحب شرائع الإسلام, he said this is mashhur. Sahib Jawahir said we don't know anyone who disagrees. When you say something is mashhur, this indicates that there must be another opinion, but this is more established, more common. He said إني لم أجده لأحد من أصحابنا. I have not found any of our Shia fuqaha to disagree about this, but for some reason maybe Sahib Sharai was aware, or for the sake of ihtiyat maybe he didn't say ijma'. خب, what is the reference to say that if fasting is because of making nadr, it's okay even if you are a traveler? يدل على ذلك مكاتبة علي بن مهزيار. What indicates this fatwa, this opinion that nadr is excluded, is a writing or correspondence in writing of Ali ibn Mahziyar. We don't know exactly who was the Ma'sum, but Ali ibn Mahziyar would not say I have read this writing if it was not Ma'sum. Before I read the hadith, I would like to mention that this Ali ibn Mahziyar is different from Ali ibn Mahziyar who traveled 20 times to Mecca. It went 20 times to Hajj to see Imam Zaman Ajjalallah Ta'ala Faraj Sharif. That is in the time of Ghaibah. That is later. And his name is indeed Ali ibn Ibrahim ibn Mahzyar. But normally they say Ali ibn Mahzyar. This one that we are talking about is Ali ibn Mahzyar. Actually, he is also from the city of Ahwaz. Both of them are from Ahwaz. But this one that we are talking about is one of the great fuqaha and muhaddithin of Shia in the beginning of the 3rd century. He has quoted hadith from Imam Rida alayhi salam, but he was mostly with Imam Jawad alayhi salam and Imam Hadi alayhi salam. So it is said that his father was a Christian and he embraced Islam, and Ali ibn Mahzyar, when he was a teenager, also embraced Islam, and then he became a supporter of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Ali ibn Ibrahim ibn Mahzyar is different, as I said, comes much later in the time of Ghaibat Kubra. This Ali ibn Mahzyar died in 254 after Hijrah. So 1 year even before birth of Imam Zaman, he was dead, he passed away. They say that he was very much into piety and ibadah. For example, they say when sun was rising, he was going to sajda and was not raising his head unless he prayed for 1,000 of his religious brothers. So he was very committed to prayer and ibadah. And also he had lots of books. Imam Jawad alayhi salam, for example, has praised him. And inshallah, if you want, you can find about his books, about his teachers, about his students, some of his services. For example, he was one of the people who introduced Imam Hadi after martyrdom of Imam Jawad alayhi salam. He was acting as a link between Shia and Imams. He had Vikala of Imam Jawad and Imam Hadi. So he was a great person. So I say this so that you better understand why we say someone at this caliber would not quote or say, I read this, unless it is from Imam alayhi salam. يدل على ذلك مكاتبة علي ibn Mahzyar. What indicates this is the writing of Ali ibn Mahzyar. What do we mean by writing of Ali ibn Mahzyar? كتب بندار مولا إدريس يا سيدي. Someone had written, Sir Mawla Idris was a servant or someone whose master was Idris. He wrote to the Ma'soom, to Imam, يا سيدي نذرت أن أصوم كل يوم سبت. I have made nadr to fast every Saturday. فإن أنا لم أصمه ما يلزمني من الكفارة. If I don't then fast Saturday, what kafara I should give. فَكَتَبَ وَقَرْأَتُ. This alayhi salam, if it is there, it's obvious it is from Ma'soom. But it's not known that it existed at that time. Maybe it was added later. So maybe it is فَكَتَبَ وَقَرَأْتُهُ. In any case, Ali ibn Mahzyar says that this answer came in writing and I read it. La tatrukuhu or la tatrukuhu. Either it is nahy or nafy, because nafi also can mean nahy, in the same way that mudhari can mean amr. For example, sometimes someone asks, what should I do if I make doubt about number of raka'at in the first raka'ah, for example? They may say tu'iduhu. Tu'iduhu means a'id. You repeat means repeat. The same with nafi. If it is la tatrukuhu, it is fi'l nafi, but it means la tatrukuhu. It means nahi. You don't stop fasting, or don't stop fasting, don't fail fasting on Saturday, illa min illatin, unless there is illah, there is a reason or there is an illness. Illah can mean reason, cause, or can mean illness. Alil, ma'lul means someone who has illness. وَلَيْسَ عَلَيْكَ صَوْمُهُ فِي سَفَرٍ وَلَا مَرَضٍ. Then Imam explains, you don't need to fast, even if you have made nadr, you don't need to fast صومه sabt, on Saturday, في سفر, when you are traveling, ولا مرض, يعني في مرض, and when you are ill. إلا أن تكون نويت ذلك, unless you have made niyyah for that. So that despite, for example, tomorrow is Saturday and I'm traveling, I want to fast and make niyyah that tomorrow I will fast, even if I know I'm traveling, for example, or was specifically for tomorrow. وَإِن كُنْتَ أَفْتَرْتَ مِنْهُ مِنْ غَيْرِ عِلَّةٍ, if you break that day of Saturday without illah, without illness or without a reason, excuse, فَتَصَدَّقْ بِقَدَرِ كُلِّ يَوْمٍ عَلَى سَبْعَةِ مَسَاكِينَ. For every day, give sadaqah to 7 needy people. نسأل الله التوفيق لما يحب ويرضى. We ask Allah to give us tawfiq, give everyone tawfiq for what Allah loves and Allah is pleased with. خب. السند صحيح. Sanad is sahih. Jahalatu bendar, the fact that we don't know who is this bendar, la tadur, it's not harmful. Why? بعد قراءة ابن مهزيار الجواب. What is important is that Ibn Mahzyar has read this reply from Ma'soom, and we know that Ibn Mahzyar was such a reliable person and such a high person that would not, read and say such thing without commenting. If it was not from Ma'soom, he would have said, this is from so and so. جهالة بندار لا تضر بعد قراءة ابن مهزيار الجواب. و دعوى أن تلك شهادة حدسية فلا تنفع مدفوعة. يعني هذه دعوى مدفوعة. If someone claims that shahada, when you offer a testimony, when you act as a witness and you bear witness, it should be about something which is hissi, something which can be perceived. For example, about day and night, you can bear witness. Beginning of month, things, crescent, etc. But you cannot bear witness about something which is more complicated. It's not a matter of using your eyes and see and bear witness, or hearing, say I heard this. No, it's in need of reasoning. For example, if for you it is 100% established that A is the killer, is the murderer, you cannot, bear witness that he is killer, because you didn't see him killing. You have been convinced, but this is not enough. Shahadat, testimony, must be hissi. Okay. In Ilm al-Rijal we have this discussion, and over there we say we accept tawthiqatul mutaqaddimin, those who were close to the time of Ma'sumin and narrators of hadith, because their shahada is like an hissan. It's not hadsi. If, for example, someone in the 10th century, 11th century, 13th century, 14th century says that this narrator is reliable, we respect his scientific view, but we don't accept this as shahada, so that if two people bear witness would be enough for us. We say this is hadsi, because they have looked into evidence and they have said this. But those who are in early centuries, they were very close, and their knowledge about who is reliable or not was mostly through first hand or second hand, witnesses, and it's almost hissi. It's as if they have seen or heard by themselves. Or for adala, for example, if someone says, is this Imam of Jama'ah adil or not? If two people say to mu'min, say that he is adil, we can trust. But if someone says adala cannot be seen, adala cannot be heard, cannot be touched, cannot be smelled, adala is something theoretical or something abstract, you can say, something in need of speculation, we say no problem. It's like hissi, because when you live with someone for some time, you can sense, not with five senses, but close to sensing their adala or their fisq. Na'udhu billah. خب ودعوى أن تلك الشهادة حدسية فلا تنفع. This is a da'wah, this is the claim. This da'wah madfu'atun, this is rejected. بأنها قريبة من الحس. This shahada is not hadsi, it's very close to hissi. We don't say it's hissi, but it's قريبة من الحس. كالعدالة. فكما أنها يعني أن الشهادة مقبولة في العدالة فكذا في المقام. In the same way that you accept shahada in adala, about establishing who is just, who is not, here also we can establish that Ali ibn Mahzir was happy with this, and this is enough for us. أما مشكلة الإضمار فقد تقدم الجواب العام عنها. This hadith is muzmare. We don't know the name of Imam, etc. He says we have given general answer to this. Sometimes we can establish from evidence, for example, the first narrator, that this must be from Ma'soom. It is interesting also that in some sources we have also this hadith. For example, we have this in Al-Kafi, and also in Wasa'il al-Shia we have this hadith, and if you want, in the footnote number 1 on page 405 you can see the people who have occurred in the chain of narrators. There is another problem. Some people may raise an objection. وَقَدْ يُشْكَلْ means sometimes this ishkal is raised, this objection. بِاشْتِمَالِ الْمَتْنِ عَلَى مَا لَا يُلْتَزَمُ بِهِ. Some people say we are not now talking about sanad, about text of the hadith we have problem. This hadith has some ideas that no one would commit, no one would accept. So even if sanad is okay, there is problem in this hadith when it comes to dalala, to text. What are the problems? Number 1, when you read the hadith, it says if you have excuse, for example, don't fast unless you have made nadhr. It suggests that if you are ill or musafir, a traveler, and you have made a specific nadhr to fast tomorrow, you fast. No one said this about ill people. If you are ill and your fasting is going to harm your health, whether it is months of Ramadan or another time, you should not fast. It should be only about traveling. So, أولا قوله وَلَيْسَ عَلَيْكَ الصَّوْمُ فِي سَفَرٍ وَلَا مَرَضٍ إِلَّا أَن تَكُونَ نَوَيْتَ ذَلِكَ. It's not upon you, means it's not necessary to fast Saturday in Safar when you are traveling, or marad when you are ill, unless you have made niyyah for it. This is a problem. إِذْ مَعْلُومٌ أَنَّ الْمَرَض لَا يَصِحُّ مَعَهُ الصَّوْمُ حَتَّى مَعَ قَصْدِهِ حَالَةَ النَّذْرِ. Even if he has made niyyah that despite being ill, I want to fast tomorrow. No one has said that niyyatun nadhr specifically is going to help with illness, because if you are ill, you must not fast. Because our definition of illness is what? Something that hurts you or harms your health. Another problem is about kafara. It said, إن كنت أفطرت منه من غير علة. What is kafara? فتصدق بقدر كل يوم على 7 مساكين. For every day, give sadaqah to 7 people. يدل على أن كفارة خلف النذر هو التصدق على 7 مساكين. والحال أنها إما مثل كفارة الإفطار في رمضان, but either it has to be like كفارة الإفطار in the month of Ramadan, which is feeding, for example, 60 people, إطعام 60 مسكين, أو كفارة اليمين. Yamin means qasam. If someone has made qasam and doesn't act according to his qasam, which is tasadduq ala 10 masakin. Give sadaqah to 10 people. 10 masakin. 7 is not there. It's either إطعام 60 مسكينا or tasadduq ala 10 masakin. This is objection about nas or matn of the hadith. وجوابه أما الأول, the issue of illness. We said illness should not be put next to traveling. أما الأول فبإمكان أن يكون الاتفاق الثابت من الخارج نفسه قرينة على رجوع الاستثناء إلى السفر فقط. Maybe because it was known that this is about safar and illness has no excuse, although it was not mentioned specifically, but the listener should understand by himself and herself. العاقل يكفيه الإشارة. You know that this is not about illness, it's about only, it's applicable to traveling. What about the second issue? كفارة. أما الثاني فبأنه إذا لم يحتمل كون كفارة خلف النذر هي التصدق على 7 فيمكن الجواب بأنه محمول على خطأ النسخة إذ الوارد في المقنع 10 بدلا من 7. If there is no chance to say that kafara for breaking nadr is giving sadaqah to 7 people, if there is no chance, okay, no problem. Maybe this was 10. Because actually what we have in muqni' is 10, not 7. Maybe the person who was writing wanted to say ashara, put sabah. A mistake. Then some people, not only one person, more than one person, have given another reply. They said, okay, suppose part of hadith cannot be accepted, but if hadith has good sanad, good chain, that part which we cannot be explained, doesn't fit into our understanding, we leave it aside, but the rest of it is okay. So we can do tab'iz, we can say with respect to this side is clear, has no conflict, we take it. With respect to other things, if there's conflict, we leave it. وَأَجَابَ غَيْرُ وَاحِدٍ. It's not only one person, more than one have replied this way. بِالْإِلْتِزَامِ بِالتَّفْكِيكِ فِي الْحُجِّيَّةِ بَيْنَ الْفَقَرَاتِ. They said, we are multazim, we commit ourselves to do tafkik, to make distinction in hujjiyah. So we say with respect to part of it, it's hujjah, with respect to another part, it's ambiguous, for example. وَلَعَلَّ الْجَوَابَ الْأَوَّلِ أَوْلَى. But maybe the other reply is better, the one that we gave, and not this one. To say that the listener must know that illness is different and illness has no exception. If you are ill, you must not fast anyway. وَوَجْهُ الْأَوْلَوِيَّةِ. Why we say that is better? أَنَّ هَذَا يَتِمُّ لَوْ كَانَ مَدْرَكُ حُجِّيَّةِ الدَّلَالَةِ دَلِيلًا لَفْظِيًّا. This reply that غَيْرُ وَاحِدٍ have given to accept that we can separate hujjiyah, and we say with respect to certain things in this hadith, we accept that it is hujjah and other things are not hujjah. He says if the reason for hujjiyatul dalalah was a dalil al-lafzi, you can go by its zahir. And anything which is coming out or is not known, zahir with respect to the rest remain effective, remain in effect. But here it's not dalil al-lafzi, it's dalil al-lubbi. We have many times said dalil al-lubbi, you have to go by qadr mutayaqan, but by what is certain. Dalil al-lubbi doesn't have umum or itlaq. It's like ijma, like binaya uqala, siraya mutasharri. always in such things you have to go by qadr mutayaqqan. You cannot use asalatul umum, asalatul itlaq, because these are for dalil lafzi. إن هذا يتم لو كان مدرك حجية الدلالة دليلا لفظيا إذ يدعى آنذاك أن عدم إمكان تطبيقه في بعض الفقرات لا يصلح مبررا لعدم تطبيقه في بعض آخر. If it was dalil lafzi, we could say, if we cannot apply it in some cases, in some of those things, phrases that are there, with respect to others, it's okay. الضرورات تقدر or تتقدر بقدرها. As much as you are sure that there is problem, leave it aside. Take the rest. Like, for example, if you have arm and there is khas, you don't know this khas is taking out of arm 20% or 10%. You say arm takes everything. What I am sure is 10%. The rest I don't know. So 90% remains under arm. But arm is different from dalil al-lubbi. In dalil al-lubbi, if you don't know 10% is coming out or 20%, you have to say 20% goes out. ولكنه ليس دليلا لفظيا. But حجية الدلالة is not dalil al-lafzi. It's not that we have a hadith about this, for example, or we are going according to hadith. Even if we have hadith, hadith is for imdha, for endorsement. Dalil is as-siratul uqalaya. Uqala act according to alfaz. ولا نجزم بانعقادها يعني بانعقاد السيرة العقلائية على العمل في صورة اشتمال بعض الفقرات على ما لا يمكن الالتزام به. We are not sure that uqala, if there is a hadith or a speech, a paragraph, if part of it is not possible to act, would say, okay, we go for the rest. No, maybe uqala, when there is question mark, leave it aside altogether. لأن السيرة يعني سيرة عقلاء دليل لبي فيقتصر على القدر المتيقن وهو ما لا يشتمل على ذلك. قدر متيقن is when we have no such conflict. If there was no conflict, no problem. If there is conflict, maybe uqala say we don't know what to do, or we look for another evidence. ومن هذا يتضح ما في قول المحقق في المعتبر. From here we can understand the issue which is there in the view, in the word of محقق رحمة الله عليه in معتبر المعتبر في شرح المختصر. We understand what is in his saying من التأمل. Means we realize that there is a تأمل فيها تأمل. What does it mean فيها تأمل? Means it needs more reflection. There is a hesitation to accept. Okay? لا يخلو من التأمل فيها تأمل فتأمل. When ulama, fuqaha especially, when they say such thing, means there is an issue here. يتضح ما في قول المحقق في المعتبر. معتبر is the commentary of مختصر, is a summarized version of al-mukhtasar. What is his قول? ولمكان ضعف هذه الرواية جعلناه قولا مشهورا. He says because of makan is mastar mimi here. Makan means cone. Remember, here makan doesn't mean place. Many times ulama when they say makan means the cone. Mastar mimi. لمكان ضعف هذه الرواية, because of weakness of this رواية جعلناه قولا مشهورا, we have made this opinion, this fiqh opinion, mashhur. We didn't say this is what everyone accepts, or this is established. وعلق عليه في المدارك صاحب مدارك الأحكام عاملی, he says وكأن وجه ضعفها الإضمار. He wants to explain maybe the weakness that Muhaqqiq referred to is number one, al-Idmar. This hadith is muzmareh. We don't know who is the person who has said this. Number two, vashtimaluha. This is another reason for weakness. اشتمالها على ما لم يقل به أحد. It includes something that no one has accepted, no one has said this. من وجوب الصوم في المرض إذا نوى ذلك. You must fast even if you are ill, if you have made niyyah for nazr, for fasting, even if you are ill. خب وإلا فهي صحيحة السند. He says there is izmar, but maybe the main issue is that he had izmar plus this problem of ma lam yaqul bihi ahad, illness, because this hadith can be somehow verified. وإلا فهي صحيحة السند. It's enough. We don't know who is this person, Bandar, but it doesn't make a problem. لا تضر جهالة الكاتب. Even which Imam has written this, we don't know. We don't know who has written exactly, I mean who was this Bandar, and which person has replied. لأن مقتضى الرواية إخبار علي بن مهديار بقراءة المكتوب. But what we understand is that Ali ibn Mahjar has read this writing. Okay, Ali ibn Mahjar has read, and this is enough. والمسألة محل إشكال. In any case, this issue is محل إشكال because it has fasting for ill people as well when they made niyyah. والاحتياط يقتضي عدم التعرض or عدم التعرض. الاحتياط يقتضي عدم التعرض لإيقاع هذا النصر. So mushkila in sanad is not a big problem for him. What is big problem is the issue of illness, and he says because we can not be 100% sure here, it's better to do ihtiyat. What is the ihtiyat? Don't make nazr for such case. If you are ill and still you want to fast, don't make nazr, because on the one hand there is a chance that this hadith can include that and then you have to fast. On the other hand, how can an ill person fast? It can be haram. So al-ihtiyat yaqtadi adam at-ta'arruz li'iqa' hadha an-nas. Aslan, don't make this nadr. خب Sheikh Irwani says هذا وقد عرفت أنه لا موجب للتوقف. He says, but you understood, as you know, we discussed, that there is no ambiguity, so that we say, do the ihtiyat. Definitely illness is excluded. Then there is another another mas'ala. ثم إن نذر الصوم إذا كان مطلقا فهل يجوز في السفر. If this nazr is specifically for when you are traveling, we discussed. But if someone has made a nazr in a general way, it was mutlaq, then is it possible to fast when you are traveling? المنسوب إلى المفيد والمرتضى شيخ المفيد والسيد والسلار هو الجواز. They say yes. Whether nazr was mutlaq or specific, you can fast when you are traveling with nazr. لشمول إطلاق النذر للصوم في السفر. Nazr includes both cases. When we said that someone who has made nadr can fast during safar, includes both, whether it's mutlaq or muqayyad. Sheikh Irwani says al-munasib adamul jawaz. But what is more suitable is to say no. Why? Because generally speaking, you must not fast when you are traveling. And in this Mukatabi Ali ibn Mahziyar, it was mentioned that if the niyyah was specifically for that Saturday, then you can fast. لظهور المكاتبة في اعتبار نيته يعني نية النذر سفران. Yani you know that you are traveling and you make niyyah of fasting in that day and make nadr. But if it was general, every Saturday I'm going to fast and it coincided with traveling, we said no. هذا. This is based on Mukatabi Ali ibn Mahziyar. But what about other hadiths? Do we have other hadiths about this issue? هذا ولكن الأخبار مختلفة لكن الأخبار مختلفة. Ahadiths are different. We can divide them into two groups. وهي طائفة. الأولى الطائفة الأولى دلت على عدم الجواز. As we said, it confirms what we said. كالصحيحة كرام قلت لأبي عبد الله عليه السلام إني جعلت على نفسي أن أصوم. جعلت على نفسي يعني like nadr. I made this commitment that I am going to fast حتى يقوم القائم أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. فقال صم. Imam said, okay, act according to your nazr. ولا تصم في السفر. Because his nazr was general, Imam said, when you travel, don't fast. So, if nazr was specifically for the day that you are traveling, you can fast, otherwise no. This is one ta'ifa, which is supporting what we said before. الثانية دلت على الجواز. The second ta'ifa of hadith indicates that it's permissible. كالصحيحة إبراهيم بن عبد الحميد عن أبي الحسن عليه السلام سألته عن الرجل يجعل لله عليه صوم يوم مسمى. A person that says لله علي, he makes nadr, he says for the sake of Allah, it's necessary upon me to fast. But yawman musamma, a specific day or days. Yawm is one, but it can be more than one. فقال يصوم أبدا في السفر والحضر. Imam said he must fast whether he is in journey or in his own watan, his hadar. خب, Sheikh Irwani says maybe this hadith can be applied to when it was specifically for safar. We can solve the problem in this way. We say that it means when it was specifically made nazr for the day that he was traveling, it's not a problem. Yawman musamma, so it was known that it is going to be safar. الجمع بين الطائفتين إن أمكن بالتفصيل الذي دلت عليه مكاتبة ابن مهزيار فهو. If we can reconcile between these two ta'ifa of hadith by saying the same thing that we had in Mukatabi ibn Mahjar, that if niyyah was specific, you fast. Otherwise, you don't fast when you are traveling. Because Mukatabi said that every Saturday you fast, except when you are ill or you are traveling. But if you have made niyyah, then you can fast, which we said means if you have made niyyah specifically for the day that you are traveling to fast. خب, if this is possible, then it would be like Mukatabi ibn Mahzar, no problem. فهو means فهو المطلوب. وإلا, if we cannot do jam, if there is no jam, there is no way to reconcile. Someone says no, this hadith is number 2 cannot be interpreted in the way that solves the problem. They conflict and remain in conflict. We say, okay, ta'arada tasaqata, these two ta'ifa of hadith conflict, both drop, then we go to mukataba. رجعنا إلى المكاتبة. والنتيجة على كلا التقديرين واحدة. The result is the same. Either reconcile according to mukataba the same thing, or you cannot reconcile, they drop, we go to mukataba. خب, Alhamdulillah, this finished. The next issue that we have is about fasting 3 days as a musafir. If you are not musafir, no problem. But if you are a traveler, you can fast 3 days in the holy city of Medina. But there are some details. For example, the hadith that we have, inshallah we will discuss this, Sahihatu Muawiyah ibn Ammar from Imam Sadiq, talks about Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So if you are in Medina for 3 days of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or 4 days or 5 days, anything less than 10 days, still you can fast. Mustahab fasting, you can. Some people may say, no, these 3 days are not necessary to be Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, although in the hadith refers to 3, but you can do ilqa'i khususiyat, etc. Inshallah, we will go into discuss these. After discussing Sawmu Thalathata Ayyam fil Madinat al-Munawwara, then we talk about as-safaru ba'da zawal. If someone is fasting and after midday, after Zuhr, travels, this is not going to make problem for fasting, although part of fasting is when he is musafir, but it's not a problem. Inshallah, we'll discuss this in the next session. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And we have questions. There is some time.
Yes, if there's.
And And to ask, I think you're traveling soon, so I just wanted to know the schedule of classes next week. Will things be the same, or will some
Inshallah,
classes be
yes.
rescheduled?
Yeah, inshallah, I will be back, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Monday, for the class on Monday, I have to see. Inshallah, hopefully should be okay, but inshallah, I will be back on Wednesday, so for Friday, no problem.
Maybe we can end with dua if you have time, Sheikh.
Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم بالقرآن المستحكم بفاطمة وأبيها وبعدها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها يا الله 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 يا رحمن يا رحيم يا أرحم الراحمين يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك واكفنا يا قاضي الحاجات ويا كافي المهمات إنك على كل شيء قدير اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم ارحم موتانا اللهم اشف مرضانا اللهم اقض حوائجنا اللهم يسر أمورنا اللهم اجعل عواقب أمورنا خيرا ورحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين التماس دعاء. Thank you very much. خدا حافظ.